Welcome to a fresh video here on the channel. It is the 15th of October 2024, and I think this will go down as just one of those days. So much has happened today. There's a bit of news, and rather than doing an individual video for each bit of news, I just want to package it all up in one video and have one place to do it. So firstly, I did post a video early, and you did see that there was a deal done for pick 3 for West Coast. Just incredible. It's official now. These are the official picks that were swapped, and this is the official deal. It's a 3-team trade between the Blues, the Tigers, and the Eagles. In essence, what it means is leaving Carlton will be Matt Owies, pick 12, pick 14, pick 73, and in return we get pick 3, pick 63, and pick 68. So what does it all mean? Putting it all together, obviously we get pick 3, which means that obviously Austin and the team have identified a specific player that they want to go after with that pick, which that's going to be so exciting to cover over the next few weeks. We're going to get Pommy in to unpack all of that. I'm really looking forward to that. So pick 3, great. What we've also been able to do is, I guess, get something back for Matt Owies, who was out of contract. First of all, officially farewell him and thank him for his services. But also what it means is we have the points and we have the cover for the Camperali twins. And I know that that is seemingly more of a priority when I look in the comments of the channel and really all the platforms. Most of you seem to be more concerned about the Camperali twins than what you are pick 3. So my initial reaction is this is great. This is a positive move. So much has happened. Who knows what the real story was? I'm curious how much of the Dan Houston interest there really was, as I said. And then was it all just utilized to play the game to get us into pick 14, which was always going to be used to get pick 3? Was it just an opportunity that came up? I'm just stoked by it. So let's take a look at what Nick Austin actually said about this deal. So he says, we were really transparent coming into this period that we wanted to attack the top end of this draft. To be able to turn picks 12 and 14 into a top 3 pick overall is an outstanding result for us. Today's trade means our club will access the top end talent in the country in a really strong draft pool. In addition to this, we've also been able to acquire additional draft points courtesy of our bundle of later picks. This places us in a strong position heading into next month, knowing we've been able to execute the strategy we set out to achieve to this point. We are looking to balance our strong core of senior players with the quality group of emerging talent coming through. By doing this, we will have our list well placed to not just contend in the short term, but for an extended period. With over a month remaining ahead of the draft, we will continue to remain flexible and be open to further opportunities as they present. So as it stands right now, we have pick 3, 63, 68, 69, 72 in the 2024 draft. And that's that. So let's unpack some of the reaction to what happened. So firstly, there's this.
What do you got?
The deal has been done. Complete. So no calling it off now.
What?
Carlton get pick 3, 63, 68. West Coast get Baker, Owies, 12 and 73. Richmond get 14. Done deal.
Are you kidding me?
West Coast Eagles have done the
Ridiculous.
deal with Carlton. The unrest, the upheaval, the
my
backlash
God.
is enormous.
Everyone should be sacked.
It's going to be a hot day
I'm
in the
out.
kitchen at MRP today.
Then there was this, as it was reported by Sammy Edmund.
If I was the West Coast Eagles, I'd be locking all doors at the Mineral Resources Park with a deadbolt, possibly armed security hired as well to protect themselves from their army of supporters. Are the Eagles being fleeced in this trade period? Like they got burnt on the Barras deal with Hawthorn on Friday. 14 gone amongst that offer, off the table. Now they're in talks to get 14 back off Carlton and 12 by giving up pick 3 in what we hear is, and what Shifter just told us, is a generational draft. So the play is they give up pick 3 and they get 12, Baker and Owies. John has got Matt Clark in the gun, the new list boss over there. Then there's this text, West Coast are butchering this trade
You know what
period.
it is? You know when you watch like those Discovery channels or the David Attenborough shows, and you've got like a big carcass, like a big wildebeest just dead, and every animal known to man is coming and just picking it off. So you start with the lions, like the lions get first go, and they get all the good stuff. Like they take all the meat off the the backside. And then after that happens, the hyenas come in and they take the scraps. And then after the hyenas come, then sort of all the birds start flying and they take the scraps of the scrap. This is what's happening. This is the Eagles are the wildebeest on the ground, and every other club, 17, they're just picking them up. I'm trying to work out what I'm missing here because
So Carlton are the vultures?
Yep, Baker could have gone to them for free if they just had a slight hard edge and they were a bit, they were prepared to be a bit ruthless about it and not make a few friends. But this is the state the club's in, that they don't need to be making friends. They need to rebuild the footy. They could have got him for free. They could have got a better deal for pick 3 if they thought that they could get the player that they thought. But pick 3 for Baker, Owies and 12. If you're going to trade pick 3, I would think you would want a pick still in the top 10, around 7, and then something, maybe 7 and 13, just if you're going to say what is fair. That's what you're doing. And then you're getting Baker. So you split the pick, which is fine. You get 2 players in. You get Baker for free. You get Owies for a pick in the 50s. And it's like, what are they doing? And what are we missing here?
And then there was this conversation between Riley Beveridge and Cal Twomey around what exactly will Carlton do with pick 3. So let's take a look at this.
Give us the pick 3 options, Cal.
So you tell me to begin with. So you know Carlton's list very, very well.
I think clearly they needed key position depth, which maybe they've addressed with Nick Haynes in the back half already. I think they needed front half speed, but I think they were at times a midfielder light. And I think in terms of their midfielder, they need someone with a bit of a point of difference. So someone with breakaway speed, someone with a bit of zip, someone with the lateral movement that can get him out of trouble, and someone that can cover the ground on the outside. So anyone fit that bill?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few in different ways. So Jagger Smith's the extractor as a midfielder. So he's the guy who's going to get you 33, 34 from day one. I don't think there's going to be any issues of him getting the ball at AFL level because he's done it at every other level. There's a bit of Zach Butters about him and the way he can extract the footy and get things going his team's way. Finn O'Sullivan has been all the rage, and he might be there at pick 3, but the move couldn't have been to think that he's a certainty to get to pick 3 because he's not. Richmond
could take him at 1.
Richmond could take him at 1, and if not, North Melbourne could well take him at number 2. He trained at the Roos at the start of this season as well. He played with the Tigers in the VFL late in the year and did quite well. So he's had an injury-interrupted season, but I think looking at him, even at the Combine, and he tested well, there's some real athleticism and power in his running and movement. So, and he's only going to get better. He's baby face still. There's a lot of growth and development in Finn O'Sullivan and where he goes in his AFL career. He's not as interested in getting the ball and a million times, but he's interested in making it hurt and making.
He's all impact, isn't he?
He's impact, yeah. And he could end up being a 30 disposal average guy, but that's sort of what he is at the moment. He's a good mark over his head, a really good mark over his head for a player his size. The other midfielders around that point, Sid Draper has probably more of the lateral movement and speed out of the contest, and we saw that at SANFL level late in the year when he played up at league level for South Adelaide. He's a goer. He's playing round 1 wherever he is drafted next year, and probably every other game after that. Don't think he's going to play much twos footy across his career. Sid Draper, Sid the kid, Sid the mid. He's ready to go, and he's had an injury-interrupted year as well, to be honest, with a bit of shin stuff at the start of the season, but he would be in that mix. Sam Lawler, if you're looking for point of difference as a front half player, he's a guy who could do that. Again, is he going to definitely get there at that point? It's dicey. He's been linked pretty strongly for those first couple of picks as one of the options there. So those guys are right in that mix. Murphy Reid as a midfielder, probably in that next little rung. I'd say Josh Smiley would be the same as well. Given they've got Paddy Cripps for the foreseeable future, they probably don't need another type like that, as
Langford.
you say. Yeah, and Harvey Langford's the other one who has to be considered. I'm a big Harvey Langford fan. I don't worry about not being super quick because I think he's a finals player. He's a meters gain player, and he marks well above his head. He's been good as a goal kicker this year, 20+ goals, and he's a big guy. Like walking next to him at the combine, I'm like, he's a big presence as a midfielder. So they're all the group. I think that Carlton now will be assessing and looking at.
And I think as well, you mentioned a couple of forward half players there in Langford and Lawler. I think that could be another option for the Blues, because I think if you look at the last 3 or 4 premiers or 5 or 6 premiers, you need someone that can play midfield and impact in the front half. So Richmond had Dustin Martin, Collingwood had Jordan De Goey, Brisbane had Cam Rayner. These are the types of players that help impact when it comes to finals and help win you finals. I think Carlton have tried to do that with a couple of players in the past. Maybe someone like a Jack Martin, they identified as someone who could do that. Obviously had problems with his body though. They don't have that player at the moment. So that is an area of need for them.
Now, over the coming weeks, we will cover the players, the potential players that we could pick up with pick 3. I'll be doing an in-depth analysis on this with Pommy as we do every single year. All of a sudden, mate, draft preview just became so much more exciting. Oh my God. So we'll do that. Everyone's got their favorites. Everyone's got their opinions. It's going to be a great discussion. And I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think this has been the most exciting trade period that we've had. I've never seen an appetite for it like I have this year. I know that a lot of it's mistruths and a lot of it is just rumors, but the fact that we've sifted through this journey and we've gone on this journey for, the Houston deal and, do we have enough picks? And it was like a future first and a future second. Then it became pick 14 and we swooped in once the Barris deal fell through, and then we ended up giving pick 14 to West Coast anyway. And all of a sudden we're losing Owies. We don't know why. Now we're getting something for him. We've got picks to cover for the Camperale boys. I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun. So I like this kid, Sid Draper. Finn O'Sullivan is another name that's been floated around as a potential. You've got Sam Lawler or Laylor. I mean, I went to Laylor Secondary College and it used to be called Lawler back in the 80s and 90s. So I don't know the right pronunciation, but there's him. There's so many names. So that's that. That's been the overall reaction to the news. That is the official trade. You've seen it there. What we're going to do now is move into, listen, there's still a day to go. Who knows what's going to happen over the next 24 hours and if other clubs try to get involved to get further up the draft as well. But that's the summary of today. We get pick 3. It's official. And that was the reaction.